A warm namaste to all our readers from India and other parts of the world. Wish you all a happy and prosperous Diwali. Welcome to another episode of season 2 of the author page of the author show. Before we start with our author, I would like to announce that we are starting the first edition of Pioneer Literature Awards 2024. The awards are in 5 categories: fiction, non-fiction, short stories, poems, and debut author. Entries will be judged by readers. That's the unique part of it, that the entries are going to be judged by the readers. Details of the award are available at www.authorsanjaychandra.com, all in one word. Interested authors may also contact us at sanjaychandra59@gmail.com for any clarifications. Now, the awards for these literature awards will be presented to the winning authors during the Pioneer Spring Literature Festival, which is going to be held in Gurgaon on the 11th of February 2024. And we are also opening entries for paid events. There are going to be book launches with moderated author session and book reading, talks, panel discussions, and of course, stalls for book display. So anyone who would like to be a part of these paid events can get in touch with us for any clarifications at sanjaychandra59@gmail.com for any further details. Now, I'm stopping the sharing at this stage and continue with the episode of the author show. Today's show is going to be, let me put the spotlight on also, just hold on. And Vardhan, you are, so add spotlight, and I'll put the spotlight on Ramita also. Add spotlight, that's better. Today's show will be moderated by Vardhan Dharkar and Sanjay Chandra. Vardhan is a former corporate finance honcho and now a passionate blogger and motivational speaker. I am Sanjay Chandra, a retired bureaucrat, a former corporate executive, and now a published author. My last book, The Behind Closed Doors, was recently published in August this year. We have with us this evening Ramita Sengupta on our show. She is the author of The Eclipsed Sun. Welcome to the show, Ramita. A quick introduction of Ramita. Ramita is a successful fintech professional and an author and painter by passion. Wow, I mean, that's multiple hats. Ramita Sengupta has won hearts with her debut novel, The Eclipsed Sun. Since the launch of this delightfully spun narrative, she has earned accolades from many literary quarters and random readers. This is a semi-fictional opus on the revolutionary leader Bagha Jatin and his associates, an ode to the unsung heroes of our freedom struggle, who renounced everything for our freedom. Her unique writing style has gathered an abundance of scholarly appreciation. The critics and a wide range of readers, including authors, film directors, actors, professors, and college students pan-India, found the book intriguing and commendable. The Eclipsed Sun earned the honor to be placed at the Kolkata National Library, Chennai Connemara Public Library, Delhi Public Library, and Mumbai Central Library. She is soon coming with the sequel of this book. A spin-off spy thriller is next on her agenda. So without, in fact, I have read Ramita's book. Here's the book. This is the cover, The Eclipsed Sun, and enjoyed it thoroughly. The references, for me, the best part was the references to the known freedom fighters. Made it a highly enjoyable and relatable read. You never felt that you were reading fiction, and yet it is fiction. So welcome once again to the show, Ramita, and over to you, Vardhan, for taking the show forward.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sanjay.
and welcome to everyone to the Author Show Season 2. And warm Deepavali greetings to everyone. Ramita, just now Sanjay mentioned that you have a fintech background, and I would have thought that your book would have tech or IT background as a background. Instead of that, you chose historical and that to pre-independence era to write your or to base your book on. So, what triggered that thought process, and how easy or difficult that was?
So, sir, before I started my career, or even I would say when I was very young, right? So I got a chance about writing about this heroes, right? I mean, you can understand that when we talk about the um, I mean, when we got our independence, right? So maybe we all of us know that how we got the independence, how the freedom fight was won, right? But the how we started, I mean, very few people actually know about it. So I got a chance to read about them in detail, and from my childhood, these people were my heroes. So even before I become a professional, even before I become a fintech professional, so these people were already my heroes. So I always wanted, to do something so that people know about them, more about them, and we celebrate these heroes. So this book just gave me a chance to do the same. So yeah.
And while you were writing the book, how much of time you had to spend in researching? As Sanjay mentioned that it has references to the real life heroes of the pre-independence struggle. So to make sure that it is sounding authentic, at least those references which are to the real life heroes, how much of research you had to do? And related question to that is that how did you balance your professional life and professional commitments versus the time that you had to devote to research?
Yeah, sir. So it took a lot of time because you know um I it took me a sir, I will be joining from another one. So Sanjay sir, can you just invite me to that so that I can have a better view?
Yeah, so I have already entered you.
Okay, okay, just a sec, I will enter from my laptop view. Just
Yeah,
a sec. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So Ramita, can you please switch on your
Hello.
video also, Ramita?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you are there.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, just a second, huh? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Yeah, sir. So, coming back to your question, so till a very late point, I was hesitant whether to take the real names or take the real events in my book, right? Because it is a risky thing in this time. But since I was very much passionate about people to actually know about this, all the heroes and who had actually contributed, right, so hugely. So it took me almost, if I tell you, a year just to finalize all the historical facts. So other than writing the book, it took, I think, some 2 years. And when I had completed the storyline of it, I went ahead and, just 1 year it took me to finalize and scrutinize and reach out to many whoever I knew, right? Who had the historical knowledge. So I kind of, reach out to them and try to understand that whether it is historical correct or not. So yeah, it took a lot of time and effort.
Okay.
Okay.
And how do you balance your professional commitments?
Oh yeah, so it kind of, so I will tell you. So um, whenever I got time, right? I am not how to say this. So whenever I got time or whenever I got frustrated with the stress of the job, so both the times I kind of utilized into writing. So yeah, writing came as a breather for me because before I started writing the book, I kind of wrote for myself. So it wasn't even planned to be a book. It was just planned as a what to say, it was for me and myself. So since it was done like that, so it kind of took away the stress and it gave me a breather, so you can say that. So I used it as a breather for myself.
In fact, that was going to be my next question. Is that do you write for yourself, your own happiness, or do you write with audience in mind?
I think that, for after my book has been released, so I kind of tried to think about the audience and tried to write like that. But I have understood that I cannot do it. I am not someone who can, focus on any uh any aspect of the reader. So yeah, I write for myself. So I just hope that it connects with the readers too.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is right. Is that what you enjoy doing is what you should be doing, and
Yes.
you will audience that shares your views. That's right.
Yes.
Since this is your first book, how difficult or how easy it was for you to find the publisher?
Uh, yeah, first the most important decision was that whether to reach for a traditional publisher, or I wanted to do it with a self-publisher, or what route to take, right? So what I found is that, I had a very limited time in my hand when I wanted it to be published. So I wanted it to be done my way. So I kind of reached out to few of them, and I had very good mentors. So Sanjay sir, who is part of the group, authors group, the Satadal Da, who is nowhere with us, but he was a great mentor to me. So he kind of, and many other people. So they actually told me that how to reach publishers. And yeah, it took quite a while, because I was very new. I didn't know the process. So what I did was, at first I understood the process and then I reached out to the publishers. So yeah, it was the choice was very difficult, that whether to go through a literary agent and then go to the traditional publishers, or do it as we want. So that was a very difficult process, but a very learning process, and I am happy how I have done it.
So maybe in future you will be able to guide the budding authors.
Yes, yes, I am all for it, sir. Because the help I got from the fellow authors in that group, in our authors group, or everyone, right? The guidance I have got, it was priceless. Because, being it my first book, and I seriously telling you that I didn't even know even one person will be reading it or not. It was just, I had shared with a few of people. I have just shared in a casual chat that, okay, I am writing something and people have told me that, okay, share with us. And those people have haunted me that you have to get it published because it is good. So since it wasn't a planned one, so I never had a, author, what to say, even a training, right? So I didn't know that whether someone will read it or not, and I couldn't invest much into this. So without the guidance of others, I could have never done it. And I want to help everyone through it. So yeah, definitely.
At this juncture, our readers would love to know about the book from you. What this book is all about.
So if I tell you honestly, this book is about growing up, So when I wanted to talk about the freedom fighters, right? So it wasn't only about talking about them. It was just, I wanted to tell it because the stories I have loved since my childhood. I don't enjoy stories which doesn't tell you the story of the characters, right? I mean, you just cannot be like you are without your childhood, right? Or without the experiences you have got in your life. So the like the books I have loved since my childhood, so I have tried to do that. So it is, this book is about a bunch of kids, you can say, who are growing up in a colonial country, and they see the injustices around them, and how they understand that they have to do something. So you can place, though it is it is a story about Indian freedom fight, you can place this story in any country, in any situation, or any conflicted zone, right? Because it is all about that. What I wanted to show is, maybe because I have been always very much inspired by the idea of heroism. I always want, I was always a very what to say, hero. And when I'm saying hero, it doesn't mean hero being a I mean male thing. I'm talking about heroism. And for me, heroism, that when you see a small justice being done in your own house, or you are seeing in a very large platform, right, in your country. So I wanted, my characters to go through that journey when they are fighting small injustices. And so the book starts when the protagonist, he fights against the social injustices, discrimination, and going forward, he and the other people in his group, they get involved in bigger fights. So I wanted to tell that as a growing up story. And I think the all the feedback I have gotten till now, everybody has told me, say, ma'am, that is the, whoever has read it, right, even the college going student and school going student, they have said that we could see ourselves in that story, because it says about incidents, it says about story, it goes like a movie. So that is how I wanted to envision it. And yeah, it talks about people, how they got the idea of freedom. Because when this book is placed at 1900, right, this era. So at that era, people didn't actually think about independence, that it was even possible. So how these people propagated the idea of freedom in the people, that was the main theme of this. And the second thing I wanted to tell everyone is that their idea of India was very, very modern. They wanted, if you see their idea, if you read about their idea of India at that era, you will see that, okay, it was amazing what they thought about India, and how they rose, right? So yeah, my book is all about that.
Interesting, very interesting. Uh, Maybe at this juncture, our readers would love if you can read a passage to them.
Okay, sure. So this passage is, it is about Bagha Jati, right? So it is about uh, how they the protagonist in my story, right? Suraj and um, how they meet and how they converse with each other, right? I mean, there is one part when the protagonist is going far away. He's traveling to Russia, and everybody knows that maybe from that journey he won't be coming back, so he is going there to get ammunition and getting training for technologies, right? Because they wanted to build it here for the revolution. So it is, the female protagonist, she also knows that she that he might not come back, and she has a conflict in herself that she should be stopping him because of her love for him, but she doesn't want to stop him. So it is about that conversation, so I will just read it. Just give me a second, my book got closed, so just a second. So this, I mean, this is how I have envisioned, Bagha Jatin in my mind, what I have read about him, and this is how I wanted to present him. So, before after writing this prose, I have actually contacted people that who had done researches on him, that whether it is right. Right. So yeah. So Mahek is the name of the female protagonist in my book, and Suraj is the male protagonist, right? So, and Jatin, when I'm talking about Jatin, it is Jatindranath Mukherjee, Bagha Jatin, right? So, Jatin was working in his room when he noticed Mahek standing at his door. What are you doing here? Come inside. Jatin was surprised to see Mahek's green face. What's wrong, Mahek? I want to ask you something, Jatindra. Okay. Mahek was unsure how to start, but Jatin surprised her by asking first, is it about Suraj's travel? She nodded. You don't want him to travel? Do you want me to withdraw my permission? Mahek let out a soft sigh and asked, that should be my reaction, right? Jatin asked, amused. It's not? She shook her head and said, I am very worried about him, but not enough to deter him. I always feel whatever our work demands, we have to do. We are trying to free our nation. How can I stop him from doing things I would do myself? I have tried to convince my heart many times that I should emotionally blackmail him to stop him, but Jatin gave a pickish smile and asked, so you are worried about not worrying enough to stop him? Mahek looked away and asked in a quiet voice, shouldn't you stop someone from danger whom you claim to love? Jatin was surprised at her stress on the word claim. He sighed, wondering why this bright young girl chose him, a married man with kids, to resolve her unique conflict. He looked at her puzzled, pensive face and decided to shake away his own awkwardness. He asked, you think you don't love him enough to want to protect him? Mahek nodded. She bit her lower lip and said, anger evident in her voice, I keep on pushing him towards danger. I was the one who introduced him to Ma and Purnoda. Whenever he does something absolutely insane, I support him. I even fight for him with others. Everyone has told him to stop taking so many risks. But I never dated him. To tell you the truth, I feel proud of him. Even for this travel, I kept on supporting him, knowing well he might not even come back. Jatin stayed silent for some time, then asked, if you were going in his place, what he would have done? He would try to come with me, arrange everything, and obsess about my safety. He would have gone mad. An indulgent smile appeared on her face. But would he have stopped you? Mahek shook her head. You believe he loves you enough? More than enough. He can die for me. The force in her voice made Jatin smile. Mahek added in a very low voice, as if she was talking to herself, I can die for him. Jatin smiled and said, well, it means you two are blessed with a very rare kind of love. Maybe because you two had each other's back even before you understood love. Love is not saving or withholding someone from danger. Genuine love is in holding his or her hands so that they can reach their highest individual level. You both know your end goal is the same, and you two are supporting each other in achieving it. Don't let anyone tell you that your love is not pure. Trust me, it's harder for him to support you on this path. Society teaches us that women are to be protected and hidden, letting you face danger on your own. His love is more questioned than yours. Mehek's eyes conveyed her gratitude. A peaceful smile adorned her face. Jatin said, supporting someone to reach his or her karma is the only expression of love needed. Just never be afraid to stand in his way when you think he is wrong, even if it costs your love. Mike nodded and left, smiling.
Thank you. Thank you for reading such an interesting and intense paragraph passage. Thank you very much. Next question is that what's the future plan? When is the next book expected and what is it all about?
So the next book will be a sequel to this one. Because as I said that I didn't plan this book very well. And since my childhood, I have always loved to read, thick and big books. So I didn't know that, that readers these days don't like big books. So when I actually, I have written the entire book at one go. And then everybody told me that, okay, you need to break it into two books because yeah, readers these days don't read such a huge book. So yeah, the second one, I it is in the proofing stage. So I am planning to come with it soon. And the next one to it will be a spy spin-off, which is on the character, the character Prithvi, who is at the starting date. I mean, who is mentioned in this story as well as. So Prithvi is, I wanted to talk about people who are um, the common connection between these two generations are even the freedom fighters I have talked about. They chose to stay in darkness. They chose to fight for the nation in secrecy. So that is the common thread. Prithvi, who is a agent, right, who fights for the protecting our nation in secrecy. So that is the common thread. So yeah, this next book will be on him.
Okay.
His journey. Yeah.
One last question is that are you planning to become a full-time author?
I want to, but yeah, since I have understood that, that having a job, which you love, I am very passionate about my job also. So maybe having two passions at the same time, it kind of helps you, using the other one as a stress buster for you. So now if I think that if I become only an author, in that case I will be pressurized to take decisions which I don't want to. So right now I don't have that plan. I want to continue this journey in both ways.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Ramita. Wonderful having you on our show, and we really enjoyed it. You could take out time from your busy schedule, and particularly because of the festival that is there right now. I hand it over to Sanjay now for further.
So we have, that was really a great moderation, and that was a great episode, Ramita. And what we'll do is, if in case we have two members from the audience, so we have about 3 minutes with us. So if anyone would like to ask a question to Ramita, pose a question, please go ahead, unmute yourself and go ahead. Ushaji, would you like to ask her something? Please unmute yourself. Yes, Ushaji. Any queries, any questions that you would like to pose to Ramita? Ushaji?
Yes, I would. It's really, really nice, and it's a different. Well, from lives, I picked up certain things, and which have just flowered into such a lovely book. All the best to her. Part of everybody's growing up years, and one does wish, ये हो गया, वो कर सकते हैं अभी. Any stage of life you want to pen down, but only lucky people are able to do it. All the best to you. And thank you, Sanjay ji, for holding these lovely gatherings.
Thank you, Ushaji. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much. Shankarji, would you like to ask something? No, I think okay. So I think that brings us to the end of this episode of the Author Show Season 2. And,
very good evening. Sorry,
yeah,
I was not able to unmute myself.
Yeah, will you please? Would you like to switch
First of
on your
all,
video?
thanks a lot. There's some technical issues, so I'm not able to switch on the video.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
First of all, thanks a lot, Sanjay ji and Vardhan ji, for such a lovely program and moderation. And heartiest congratulations to Ramita ji for her new book.
Thank you.
I was just remembering. I was just remembering in the introduction when Vardhanji told about Bagha Jatin. Bagha Jatin was one of my favorite characters from Amar Chitra Katha when I was a kid. So, in fact, I remember his story very much. So, I'm certainly going to get a copy of your book, and all the very best.
I'm looking forward to your feedback, sir. Thank you.
So thank you, Shankarji.
Certainly.
Thank you so much. And that's it. So thank you, readers, for joining us this evening. The show was also recorded, and we will share the recording on YouTube as well as on other social media handles. Please do read Ramita's The Eclipse Sun and share your reviews. This is the book. And please do read and share your reviews. And look out for the notification about the next episode of the Author Show Season 2. Authors, please do remember the closing date for the Pioneer Literature Awards 2024 is 30th November. Please do send us your entries. Details are available on www.authorsanjaychandra.com. In case of any queries, please contact sanjaychandra59@gmail.com. And please also look out for those paid opportunities in case anyone of you would like to launch your book or would like to set up stall for display of books or any talks or moderated panel discussions. So have a great Sunday. Stay safe. Have a safe Diwali. Happy Diwali once again to all of you. Have a great Sunday evening. Wish you all a safe and happy Diwali. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.
Happy Diwali to everyone.
Happy
Thank
Diwali to